Anyone else been single for years and have a hard time finding people to date, or is it just me? Loving someone is not the problem. Finding someone who is single, that's what I am struggling with. There is definitely an inherent difficulty meeting someone when you're older due to the reasons you mentioned. My personal belief is that this problem is compounded by a lack of real social activity, between people subsidizing their social life on the internet and struggling to make enough money to survive. Time to engage people genuinely is being lost. I even feel like I see people losing their ability to effectively engage other humans on a personal level. People are becoming hashtags to one another. I'm 41, so I feel like I remember when people went out into the world, and that I've watched the social environment deteriorate as the internet has become the social marketplace. Admittedly, this has been rather defeating for me, and as I don't enjoy social media, I'm also not developing myself to engage others digitally. The world has become so lonely, and social interactions are acrobatic attempts to see a person through their facade of branding on the internet and in person. I've been single my entire life, and it doesn't look like that's about to change. I just don't have what women are looking for. It isn't easy. In my experience, maybe one of those on dating sites were a good match, and even among those it isn't a guarantee. Life is hard and relationships are some of the hardest components. The best advice I've heard is to try to make yourself into the ideal partner, and the rest should take care of itself. Dating is hard. Single for over a decade now. Never thought it would be like this, but chances are I'm going to be single forever. It is what it is. I feel like everyone that met in college or shortly after settled down, and most everyone that did not is still single. I do know some folks that met through the apps, at work, on airplanes, at bars, etc., so I know it really could happen anywhere anytime. But it just feels impossible. Date? Haha, I haven't made a new girlfriend in at least 5 years. I have been single for 10 years. I am 49 years old, never been married, no children. Great career. I own my house. I'm stable. Not hideous looking. There is no one left. It's not hard to find people. It's hard to find people you enjoy enough to give half of your life to. It gets even worse if you're over 60. It also seems like everyone wants ethical non-monogamy, which isn't for me. Been almost 6 months since my last first date. Girls are a big bowl of frosted flakes. I can get a few matches, have some good convos, then Ghost Rider snatches em up or something. I'm a woman, in the last year of my 20s, and dating just looks like an impossible mountain to climb. It hasn't been years yet, more like just over one, but I'm sure it will be. I'm not looking though, as online dating is trash. I do get approached when I go to the bar to watch UFC events, as I find it an excuse to get dressed up, and I take full advantage of the ones I give myself. I accepted a couple dates, but at this point I decline them all. What's sad is as soon as I decline there is zero interest, yet I do love if a guy would just hang out and talk fights with me. This aspect for me, I think the struggle. Don't approach me to date, approach me to have a conversation. I'm content and happy as things are in my life, and don't feel like dating for the purpose of dating. I'm not saying I've closed all options, but if it does happen, it will be a slow move from acquaintance to friendship to romance, and not a getting to know someone through dating. Same. I personally don't like using any online dating apps. I prefer someone I know personally, acquaintances, or through friends, but my gosh, at this point it's very tempting to use dating apps instead. I miss the feeling of being in love. No, it's not just you. For me it's near impossible because I plan to be child-free. Finding a guy that wants the same thing is incredibly difficult. The few that were okay with the idea end up ghosting. I'm not looking. I assume many aren't either. Been single for a couple of years now, somewhat by choice. I've had a couple of dates off Tinder, but I'm too lazy to put effort into just getting laid, and no one I've come across makes me want to court them for a long-term relationship. Just going to keep my eyes peeled, but I don't care enough to do much more than that. I've had enough drama and BS over the years to be cool with the single life. A chick would really have to make it easy to get this D. I don't really get lonely anymore, so it's easy. I remember my 20s, being single was absolute fucking torture. I'm glad it hasn't been a thing for me now. 50 of all Reddit posts are about this, so you're not alone. Oog, I have given up. Yeah, I've kinda given up. I'm a 34-year-old dude and just chilling. I don't need to be in a relationship. Sometimes I think it would be nice, but it's not a priority for me.